So basically from this tree diagram, if you look at the information that we are given, remember these are two independent events, such that there is a chance of the house being broken into and also a chance of the car being stolen. The house can also not be broken into, as well as the car cannot also be stolen. So if we are given that the probability of the house being broken into, we can represent it as S, and the house being not being broken into, we can represent it as S prime. And then the second event is the car being stolen. We are given the probability of the car being stolen as 0.12. So we can denote the probability of the car being stolen by C. And then you denote the probability of the car not being stolen by C prime. So that means that if you subtract 0.12 from 1, you will be getting 0.88. Also, the probability of the house being broken into is given as 0.07. So the probability of the house not being broken into, we simply take 1 minus 0.07, and that will give you 0.09. And then you plot your tree diagram. So if you are asked in the first question, that we get the probability of a house being a victim of both, that is a house being broken into and the car being stolen, then we are going to have this. We will simply take the probability of house being broken into and the car being stolen, we multiply them, and that is going to give us 0.07 times 0.12, and that will give you 0.08. Secondly, as we have calculated, the probability that the house suffers only one of them misfortune, we can also get. The probability of the house suffering only one of the misfortune implies that the house can either be broken into, or and the car not being stolen, or the house not being broken into and the car is being stolen. So as you can see, we have the probability of the house being broken into, that is given as 0.07, and then the probability of the car not stolen. So we are going to have the first probability is C single prime. So we will add SC prime to the probability of the house not being broken into and the car being stolen. So we add these two. We add these two. In case we add them, the probability of the house being broken into and the car not stolen, we multiply 0.07 times 0.08, and then the probability of the house not broken into and the car stolen is going to be given by 0.93 times 0.12. So if you add, this is what you will get. So in the last question, we are told, we are asked to get the probability that the house suffers at least one of these misfortune. So this is how we are going to do it. If you are told that the house suffers at least one of the misfortune, then it implies that the house can suffer both the misfortune. That is, the house can be broken into and the car being stolen, the one that we are given as SC, or the house can be broken into and the car is not stolen, the one that we are given as SC prime. And then the house cannot be broken into, but the car can be stolen. That is another misfortune. So if we work out their probability and add, then we are going to get 0.1816. Or we can alternatively get the probability of the house not suffering the misfortune, and we subtract it from 1, because the whole event occurring is represented by 1. So the probability of the two events not occurring, we can subtract it from 1 to get the probability that the house will suffer both events.